There are moments in the entertainment industry when a single actor becomes more than just a performer, and instead evolves into a cultural signal of change. And today we are diving into one of those figures as we explore the layered journey of Yaman, a name that continues to provoke both admiration and debate across international audiences. What makes his trajectory particularly compelling is not just his rise within Turkish television, but the way he has managed to reposition himself as a cross-border celebrity, deliberately navigating between local fame and global ambition in a way that very few actors from his background have attempted with such intensity. When analyzing his recent career moves, especially his increasing involvement in European productions and his relocation to Italy, one begins to see a strategic pattern rather than a series of random opportunities, as if every decision is part of a broader recalibration of identity from a domestic star into an international brand. What complicates this transformation is the tension between his earlier roles, particularly in romantic comedies where charisma and physical presence were dominant assets, and his more recent attempts to engage with projects that demand a different kind of artistic credibility, such as historical dramas and action-oriented narratives. Critics have often questioned whether this shift represents genuine artistic growth or simply a calculated attempt to diversify his image in order to sustain long-term relevance. And this debate becomes even more nuanced when one considers the audience response, which is far from uniform. While some fans celebrate his willingness to evolve and take risks, others remain deeply attached to the version of Yaman that initially captured their attention, creating a dynamic where every new project is not just evaluated on its own merits, but also compared against an idealized past. Another layer of complexity emerges when examining his public persona, which has consistently oscillated between accessibility and distance, particularly in the way he engages with fans and media. His social media presence, for example, often projects confidence and control, yet it also reveals moments of calculated vulnerability that seem designed to maintain emotional connection without compromising his carefully constructed image. This duality becomes especially evident during promotional campaigns, where interviews and public appearances are tightly managed, suggesting a level of self-awareness that goes beyond typical celebrity behavior and enters the realm of brand engineering. Industry analysts have also pointed out that his move into the Italian market was not merely a geographical shift, but a deliberate attempt to tap into a different production ecosystem, one that offers both challenges and opportunities distinct from the Turkish television landscape. The Italian industry, with its own traditions and expectations, requires a different acting rhythm and cultural sensitivity, and adapting to this environment is not a trivial task, even for someone with established experience. Observing how Yaman navigates this transition provides valuable insight into the broader phenomenon of actors attempting to transcend national boundaries in an increasingly globalized entertainment market. At the same time, it is impossible to ignore the controversies that have occasionally surrounded him, not in the sense of scandal, but rather in the form of polarizing public reactions to his statements and behavior. These moments, while sometimes minor in isolation, collectively contribute to a narrative that keeps him constantly in the spotlight, reinforcing the idea that his career is as much about perception management as it is about performance. Whether this is a conscious strategy or an unintended consequence of his personality remains an open question, but its impact on his visibility is undeniable. As we look ahead, the central question becomes whether Yaman can successfully consolidate his position as a truly international actor, or whether his identity will remain tied to the specific contexts that initially shaped his career. And perhaps the answer lies not in choosing one path over the other, but in finding a way to integrate both. So as we close today's exploration, It is worth asking yourself, is Yaman redefining what it means to be a global actor, or is he still in the process of discovering that definition himself?